Hi, everyone. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripe Color. And good morning. And I wanted to do a live video for the full moon, and I'm doing it. It's right here, right now. And the daily. And I was like, you know what? Combine them. So that's what I'm doing. So the message is release and receive. That's simple. It's that simple. So I woke up really early. I fell asleep really early last night. I was watching something. I don't even know what I was watching. And I'm just like, whoa. So I probably fell asleep at like 9 o'clock or something. And so I woke up at like 5 in the morning, and I went upstairs to the roof, and the moon was, nearly full, waxing. So tonight it's going to be full, and the moonlight was really beautiful. And I was like, okay, do what you need to do. And it's a full moon in Virgo. And Virgo is an earth sign. So it was a good time to plant. It's best to plant, in water signs and then earth. Water first and then earth, to plant new in full moons. So I replanted some stuff and I undid some stuff and la 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 la. All right. So, I do really simple rituals for the full moon and for the new moon. And what I do is I take a piece of paper and I cut it in half, and I just write down, I release whatever it is you want to release, and then you burn it. And so I burnt it. If that, if you, like I'm at home and I don't really want to start with fire, so cut it up in a million pieces and throw it away or flush it down the toilet or whatever it takes. And I receive, then I put on the second piece of paper. Oh my God, the pollution here, they have warnings. I receive and then write down what it is you want to receive. And what I do is I put it in one of my plants. So that's something you can do. You put it on a little piece of paper and you fold it up really small and you just put it in a plant. Or, if you don't have a plant, you could tape it to the bottom of a drawer. Like it's there, but you don't have to see it every day. If you want to, see it every day and put it on your altar, that's great. Or on the wall, whatever. All right. So that's what I usually do for the full moon and the new moon. Excuse me. Wow. All right. I mean, I love it here, but the big thing, I mean, aside from everything else, is the pollution. Wow. All right. So, and I'll do a little ritual in a little while. All right. So there's a lot going on in the sky, that's for sure. And I wish I knew more about astrology, but I know that Mars and Venus and there's a lot, and Pluto are conjunct. So it's really about unearthing. I mean, that's why I called it release, because this is what's going on for a lot of people. It's like, okay, my whole life, or for many months, or whatever it is, I wanted to release this aspect of my personality, or this part of a way of thinking or acting or experiencing things. And it's like I come up against it again, and I come up against it again. And I feel with Pluto there, it's like you're getting to the root. You're getting to the root. It's really interesting because I've been repotting things, right? And sometimes you look at something and it's like, oh, it's okay. Maybe the plant's say this big or something, and then you pull it out, to like replant it or something, and the roots are like incredible. So it's like, okay, now that I know what this is, I think that's why the devil card came up yesterday. Now that I know what this is, I can, maybe you're going to pull something up by the root. Like, let's say it's a weed, right? You pull something up by the root and you see how long it is. It's like, this I'm discarding, right? I repotted the rose yet again. We'll see what happens. I have high hopes. All right, so live full moon for the collective. And chime in and say hello. I think it's going to be full very early in the morning, like it was today. All right. I've been trying to rejoin Facebook. Not that I really like it, but there are some groups that I want to belong to. And it's been impossible. I mean, it's been months. Oh, you need this and you need that, and that's the wrong password. Oh, we need your ID. So I put up a picture of my passport. That didn't work. I put up another picture of another ID. That didn't work. Oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. Like, what the hell am I going to do on there? So try again today with my friend, because I'm going to lose my cool. I'm really going to lose my cool. All right. Yes. And that's, part of it also is like, if you need help with something, ask somebody to help you, even if they just sit with me, right? Look at that. Wow. All right. Very interesting beginning. Okay. Are we set up well? Yes. All right. We start with the wish card, which is wonderful. And then we go into the 6 of Pentacles, which is about perseverance. And then the Hanged Man. This is really interesting. All right. This is the wish card. I mean, so he is all about being satisfied, being safe, being comfortable, being like there's like this, and it's a wish card. It's like he's emotionally fulfilled. He's gotten everything he attained. 9. He attained his full heart. He attained being safe, being comfortable, and it's like, my wish has come true. Wonderful. And it's funny because sometimes it's like, well, I wish but then you look around your life, and let's say it didn't happen, or it happened halfway or whatever. It's like we're so concentrated on one wish, but there's a lot going on in our minds. Well, I also want this and I also want that, and maybe it's already there. That's part of it. And then I have the 6, which is like community, like charity. I'll be taken care of, or I have plenty to give and I can give, both. This is really about giving and receiving, because there's a sense of balance. Yay, balance. You see, right? The scales are here. So it's not only the wish for you, but it's the wish for the people around you, your community, etc. And then we have the Hanged Man, which is really fascinating. So the Hanged Man is a very profound card, and the Hanged Man is really sitting and pausing and waiting, sacrificing oneself to oneself. And especially with the Pluto stuff, like I said, coming up, or right here, right now, it's like I see this thing about myself. I sacrifice myself to myself, and I'm willing to look at it from a new angle. Hello, how are you today? I'm looking at something from a new angle, and I'm waiting for the illumination as to how to let it go. And it's a willing self-sacrifice. It's not like, oh, I have to do this for my health and I have to eat this disgusting food. It's like, I am doing this for my health because I love myself, and actually it's not as disgusting as I made it in my head. Kale, anyone? All right. One time I went to this restaurant. I don't remember where it was, but they made a kale salad. So it was kale. It wasn't anything else. Maybe there was another green in it. And with, it was like a chicken Caesar, but with kale. It was really good. It was really good. All right. Yeah. Stability of thought. So it's like, calm yourself down. So this one sort of stops and listens, right? This one also is stopping and listening. Stopping and listening. I'm going to stop. I'm going to listen. Hi, Juanita. I know I do have a sense of humor. I'm going to stop and listen. It's a really interesting card. So whenever you see like the church window in any of the cards, it means spirituality. It means I'm going to sit. It's, it's like, even if you're not Christian, you go to a church and it's really calm. And like the church is ourself, the church is our soul, right? It's like I'm going to sit and listen and say, what is it that if I gave up willingly, right, that would satisfy me? Interesting, right? So that's what's going on. Okay. And, to bring myself back into balance. And there's also illumination here, right? There's illumination here. It's like there's a divine justice that's coming through. And the scales only show up twice in the deck. We already have them both. We have them in her hand and we have them in his hand. All right. So there's a new balance coming in. It's like, well, if I don't do this action anymore, or if I get out of my own way and, stop being so impossible, or if I get out of my own way and stop being so, I don't know, self-centered, or whatever it is, whatever it is, it's like, okay, I'm willing to have this transformed. And, we'll do a little ritual after the reading. Okay. I'm all about ritual. And I like to make them up myself, people, sometimes you could look up this stuff online about the full moon or the new moon. And it's like, oh, you need cinnamon, and it has to be a pink candle, and it has to be at this and this time, and it has to be on a Wednesday. It's like, I'm willing in this moment, right, in honor of the moon changing, to release these things that are in my way and to receive the things that I'd like to receive. Like, it doesn't have to be, oh, you have to wear this. It's like, calm down. A new direction, a new hope, new illumination, new messages, new spiritual messages, right? And the thing that's really interesting is that she's naked, right? So that means, and she's the only one who's naked, I think, in the deck, except for the world. The world is naked too. But this one is like completely naked. And it's really about, I'm completely open to what like spirit has to bring to me. I'm completely open. I'm ready to receive both, in a grounded manner, right? Because she's right, and from my intuition. So I'm the thing that I get from the star a lot of times, because she has one foot in the water, so she's paying attention to her dreams and her intuition and her, psychic understanding, and everybody has it on a certain level. And I'm grounding it in, because I'm down on my knee. I'm like humbly grounding this energy into the earth, into my body, in this pure way. Thank you. ¿Cómo estás, Juanita? Vivo en México. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to be really practical. I'm going to be really practical. The other thing I get from this card, maybe it's in my own personal reading, but so he's the miser, right? He's really practical with his money, with his time, with his energy, with his health. And he looks at things really, really carefully. It's a bit of a camera. It's so hard to do this, I can't tell you, because everything is backwards when you're looking at the camera, whatever. Okay. He also, there's an energy of like, I'm keeping my stuff to myself. Because sometimes like I have an idea about something, right? I want to go in this new direction. I want to make money in a certain way, or I want to try something new, or I want to, change something that I'm doing, and, to make it more, I don't know, uh, better, to make it better. And then I go around and tell everyone around about it, right? And like, it's like, being yourself, keep it to yourself, do what you need to do, you know, in a slow, cautious, practical manner. That's it. Like, the whole world doesn't have to know your business. The whole world doesn't have to know your business, because, you know, people don't want other people to grow. You know, they like, oh no, you have to stay where you are. You know, you have to stay in the same place that you are. And, you know, the other thing is, you know, sometimes when you start doing well in whatever way, not just financially, you know, it could be like emotionally or with a job or whatever, you know, people like, well, you know, you're doing well, but I'm not doing well. It's like, I don't need that energy around, right? I don't need to, like, for you to approve or disapprove of what I am and I'm not doing. Because, you know, like the negative stuff in our head, sometimes we put it to sleep for a while, right? And then we kind of put our stuff out, and then somebody will say something negative, and then the negative in our head starts coming alive again. It's like, no, 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 no. It's almost like the baby is sleeping. Shh, the baby's sleeping. Don't tie your shoe. It makes too much noise. Look, toward wealth, toward establishing something that's going to last. And this is really nice. And it's my third pentacle. Wow. This is about dynasty. It's a really interesting card. It's about dynasty. It's about, you know, it's like a family business that has lasted forever. So there's all these, it's intergenerational. And that's the thing too about the, here, let's go look. About this community, it's like there's an intergenerational thing going on here. So, you know, sometimes it's like, well, you know, you're so young, you don't know anything, or you're so old, you don't know anything, or whatever it is. And it's like, don't discount that. Don't discount that. We all have our own experiences, and everybody has something to bring to the table that can form a community, right? Oh, well, you're new to this, so you don't know anything. It's like, maybe they do. Because sometimes, you know, looking at something from a fresh perspective, you know, from an outsider's point of view, it's like, you know, they see the whole picture, and you know, like, sometimes I get so focused on one little thing, and someone sees a bigger picture. It's like, well, maybe you're right. I mean, you didn't give me the information for nothing. All right. Oh, and then the empath is here. Trust yourself, you know, trust your intuition, trust your inner light, trust your guide, trust your feelings, and be kind to yourself in the process. This is the, you know, she's really the mother, and she's like this warm, fuzzy, you know, like, I'm going to hug you and kiss you until your boo-boo goes away kind of mother. She's really like the most emotionally available, you know, because all the queens are mothers in a way. But this one is like the most loving, the most kind, the most intuitive, the most understanding, the most compassionate. So, you know, I don't really usually read cards as like it's another person. I usually read it as you. You know, I'm reading for you. Um, and so when like the Queen of Cups comes up, it's not like, oh, well, there's a woman. For me, the way I read usually is like, this is part of you, and it's like this, the loving mother part of you, to be kind to yourself, to be kind and nourishing and comforting to yourself in this process of releasing, in this process of rebalancing, in this process of receiving. Okay. To begin something new, that you're enthusiastic about and passionate about, and it's creative. And, you know, people think, oh, well, you know, I'm not creative, I can't draw. It's like, creativity has nothing to do with drawing. I mean, it does, but it has, you know, if you're a really good accountant and you figure out a new way to get through the books in a really easy, efficient way, that's really creative. You know, it doesn't have to be, oh, well, I can't draw. It's not about that. You know, everything we do is creative. Everything we do is creative. It's like how you put on your socks and shoes in the morning is creative. Yeah. And then take the action and build it. Then take the action and build it and be patient. In the physical world, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pentacles. And I only have, and then I have 1 sword, 2 cups. You know, this is really about being practical in the real world, because pentacles represent the earth plane. So it's not only money, it's money, security, your body, time, health, food, anything that's real in the physical world. You know, because swords are in the air, so they're a thought. Cups are emotion, they can change moment to moment. And your passion, your creativity, which are the wands, like that can also change. And that's the fuel. It's not necessarily a thing, it's the fuel. You know, it's not the car, it's the gas. And the Empress is here too. Wow. Wow. So, you know, I mean, I don't want to, you know, she's in this world. This is Venus. This is Venus. This is like abundance and flow and love and creativity and fertility and the growth. It's like growth in the garden. This is a beautiful card. And you know, and also this is also, I mean, I'm pushing it, but this is, you know, it's a card of Libra, so this is also sort of a card of Venus. All right, I'm going to throw a few more, and then I need glasses because you all are so far away I can't see a thing. Okay. Yeah, you know what I got right away? Cut it out. What I don't mean is not cut it out. What I mean is, you know, because you're going to have an understanding, right, with the Hanged Man here, the balance coming in, the spiritual information coming in, the intuitive stuff coming in. It's like, I know what it is that I have to let go of. I know what it is that doesn't serve me anymore. I know the thought pattern or the habit or the doubt or the fear or whatever it is. I know what it is. Like, I can't pretend to not know what it is. I know what it is. Like, you know, well, you know, no. You know what it is. So now that you know what it is, cut it out. All right. And do a little thing, you know, set something on fire or whatever. And don't tell everyone, just do it yourself. Yeah, I'm going in a new direction. I'm going in a new direction, right? I'm leaving the past behind. And not that I'm never going to go back to it, or not that it wasn't satisfying, and not that it wasn't, it's not a burn bridges kind of energy. He's leaving like the emotional stuff behind, the things that served him, because he's on a quest. He's on a spiritual quest. He wants more. He wants to be more satisfied. Sometimes I talk about this as the card, like a Buddha card. So the story of Buddha is that he's a prince and he has everything he could ever want. And, you know, like fantastic dancers and cool clothes and great food and servants and, you know, a lot of love. He's got everything, but he's living in a walled city. He's living in a walled city. And his understanding is like, I really want to see what's outside the wall. And his parents try to protect him and not let him see, you know, the poverty and sickness, et cetera, et cetera. And he sneaks out, you know. And, you know, otherwise it's not a story. And he sneaks out and, you know, goes and sees all of it, the whole thing. So, you know, excuse me. I mean, that's really part of like really having an experience. Having a real experience is like, I see the things that work for me and that I'm good at, let's say, and the things that satisfy me. But I also see the things that are not so good for me, that maybe are part of me that are not so lovely or wonderful, or that can be worked on, right? That's the abundance of the garden. The abundance of the garden is there are weeds. The abundance of the garden is, maybe one plant will take over another plant. And, it's kind of a metaphor of who we are. Sometimes there's a piece and part of ourselves that's like this little bit of a plant, right? It's like an energy that we hold, or an idea or whatever. And then, maybe we plant it in the incorrect pot and it's overtaken by something else. It's like, but it's still, so that's the thing. It's about looking at the dark and the light, looking at the dark and the light, and say, how can I work with the dark in order to make the garden more fertile, make myself more fertile in terms of love, relationships, money, comfort, experiences, etc. All right. And then the sun. Oh, I'm ending on this one. So the sun maybe is, the star is also, look, the Empress and the Star are great cards. The Empress and the Star are great cards. The Wish card is here also, great card. But the sun is like, wow, it's nourishment. It's physical and spiritual nourishment. It just this light shining and radiating and comforting and healing. There's a healing in the sun too. So this is really lovely. This is really, really lovely. I know I say that a lot, and I'm very much an optimistic reader, but this is a really, really nice reading. All right. It doesn't go anywhere. All right. Let me show you everything. Excuse me. I always do a different order, but I'm going to be good today. In order to fulfill my wish and to become more balanced with myself and with society, I have to be, or I prefer to be, in a state of give and take, in a state of being part of a community where it's equal. There might be things about myself that I need to give up, right? In order to start something new. And I have the ability, and I'm going to take the action to cut out the things that no longer work for me, because I've sat there and contemplated them long enough. It's very clear, and I'm being guided by spirit to build something new and to walk away from what doesn't work and walk toward what does. This is the practical thing to do for myself and for my family and for those around me and my community. My intuition and my heart is really leading me toward fertility, abundance, and flow. And I'm being supported and loved by the light inside of me and by the light outside of me as well, to be free and joyous and abundant. It's really nice. Really nice. Can you hear those crazy dogs? All right. Somebody, it's not my building. I live in a building that's sort of, it's much higher than the buildings around it. So next door, there are like 2-story buildings, and they're like little houses with like one on top of each other. And one of them has like, I don't know, 6 little dogs, something like that. It's like, oh, I'm going to let them out and let them bark so all the neighbors can hear them for like, half an hour. So that's the time of day that it is at the moment. And I scream, tacos de perro, and sometimes they understand and they get scared and they stop. But sometimes they're like, come and get me, Tacos de perro. Got to work on my R's. All right, because perro, P-E-R-O is bud, but P-E-R-R-O is dog. And it's a little bit different pronunciation. All right, now let's do a little cute ritual. And I'm going to bring you closer, and I mixed cranberry juice and some weird tea. It's actually good. Too much cranberry juice, but it's good. It's kind of, I got this like ginger tea. It's very subtle, but it's good. You're right. All right, Juanita. Okay. So if you're new here, I do healings and remote. You know, I do it with either pendulum or with IET. IET is like I don't know how to say it. It's kind of more advanced Reiki. It's like a personalized thing. And you can look at it on my website, and I have meditations available for purchase also. All right, here we go. So I can't wait to blow my nose after the video. I'll tell you the truth. All right, so when it goes, when it goes counterclockwise like this, it means it's releasing. And then when it goes clockwise like that, means it's imprinting. Okay, it's hard to show. Really hard to show because I usually do it here because then I'm in my solar and my sacral, and that's really the way it works best. But it's a video. All right. And I don't have, videos are this way, not that way. I'm wearing pants, don't worry. So weird, right? They had all these things during COVID, and people like, doing their thing. It's like, oh my God, I saw you in your underwear. I was wearing pants. All right. I call upon the Holy Spirit to come and clean and clear us of all doubts, of all fears, of anything and everything that is not for our greatest good and greatest healing from this time and all times. Any doubts, any blocks, any worries, any fears, negative thinking, I clear them from me and from everybody who's watching and who will watch. And we send it into the violet fire of transmutation, never to return. So it is, so it is, so it is. We call on Michael and Gabriel and Uriel and Gabriel and Zadkiel and Yophiel and Camiel to come and help us to clear our guides and angels, beloved ancestors, to clear any negative thought patterns, belief systems, any physical ailments from our auras now and forever. From this time and all times and all simultaneous times, parallel lives, parallel universes, 100% now. Okay. With my mighty I am presence, you could say it after me if you want. With my mighty I am presence. I receive love, comfort, joy, happiness, health, abundance, opportunities, kindness, friendship, beauty, freedom, into my energy body, into all my chakras, and whatever else is needed for my greatest good and greatest healing from this time and all times and all simultaneous times, parallel lives, parallel universes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is, so it is, so it is. All right. And when it stops, it's done. Are we done with this today? Yeah. All right. So if I do a one-on-one, it's more personalized, because sometimes I ask questions like with the pendulum, and then, someone's holding something in their throat or this or that, because we all hold different things in our bodies. I mean, that's what IET does. It releases you from the trauma. It releases you from the trauma so you can get on with your life, because we hold trauma in our bodies, sometimes from this life and sometimes from past lives and sometimes a combination of both. So that's the kind of services that I offer. Anyway, release what doesn't work. release. And it's like, I don't know where it's going. I don't know. It's like, can I release this? If it's in your way, yes. And I receive its opposite, right? So whatever it is, let's say you're releasing fear, I receive faith. You're releasing anxiety, you receive ease. So think of its opposite. Sometimes, just look it up online. It's like, oh, I never realized that was the opposite, right? Use the thesaurus online and, see what you want to release and what you want to receive, right? That's it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Juanita. ¿Dónde estás? So I'm a New Yorker. Originally, I lived in New York my whole life, and now I live in Mexico City. And I've been living here for almost 2 years, and I really love it here. I mean, it's really inefficient, but I really love it. I have some guests staying with me because I do like Airbnb and booking. So they want to go to the Museum of Anthropology, right? And they were like, oh, we're going to take the train. And then I'm like, well, look, they're working on that train line, so it's not going to work. Oh, well, it says on Google. It's like, it doesn't matter what it says on Google. Like, the train line is down. So I was like, and besides, the bus will take you right there, right in front of the museum. So we went to go buy, like, you can only buy like a Metro card here now. They used to take tickets, but they don't anymore. And we went to the bus and like none of them were working. And then we went to like a big train station, like one of the big ones. They don't have any. It's like, great. I mean, there's something so inefficient about this place, but it's just the way it is. Like, I have to adjust to it. It's not going to adjust to me, right? I have to adjust to it, right? That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So I almost, and I'm so caretaky that I almost was going to give them my card. It's like, I'll just use this because they're only here for the weekend. But I need it. I need it. So I used to have one that one guest would give, they would give it back to me and then I would give it to the next guest, but somebody took it, or didn't return it, let's say. And so I didn't have one and whatever, All right. So have a lovely full moon, go into a ritual, go, and know that in your heart of hearts, like what I release is done. And what I receive, I'm receiving, right? I did it this morning at 5 a.m. and then I went back to sleep and I'm back. Anyway, have a lovely day and go check out my website, rightcolor.com. I have a lot of things to offer and see you all soon. All right. Blessings, blessings, blessings. 38 minutes, good. Less than an hour. All right. Bye.